Because the times
Woke up this morning thinking about
Those summer days.
best friend got caught up when I stayed in Douglasville. Doing trying to stuff by myself. I'm a What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. So today we got the song that changed Lil Peep's life. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy at Matt Balls, Pauls. You feel me? Let's get into it.
Despite having a very brief career, Lil Peep had a massive amount of success in the music industry. He was and is undoubtedly one of the largest artists of this generation. However, what really helped propel him into the spotlight and stop sleeping on the floor was his mixtape Crybaby. That project gave Lil Peep the big break he needed, but in the end it may have been a double-edged sword. But to really understand just how crucial Crybaby was to Lil Peep's development, we have to go back to the beginning. Lil Peep was a pretty normal kid growing up. He was just reclusive. He got into tattoos and drugs at a very young age compared to his peers. When Peep was in school, he often kept to himself and would be cooped up in his room. Because of this, he would be pretty socially anxious, which is very visible in many of his interviews. While in his room, he would play a lot of video games and listen to a lot of both rap and rock music. He would gradually get into some more internet and SoundCloud music, which inspired him to make his own music. A lot of documentaries on Peep say he dropped out and got his GED online, but he actually graduated high school early with the help of some of his teachers. He had wanted to drop out his senior year, but had assistance from some of his favorite teachers and took classes he needed to graduate. After graduating high school, he moved to California to live with his friend Brennan Savage, as they both attended a community college together. This is when some of Peep's earliest songs would be made, such as songs like Keep My Cool and Latitude. Shortly after, he returned home in early 2015 and would attend a community college in New York. While living with his mom, this is where he would record a lot of his earliest known music and projects, such as songs like Star Shopping. I really want to highlight just how quickly Peep's music got good. Songs like Give You the Moon, Toxic City, and Star Shopping were some of his first songs ever and are all great. He recorded and released projects like Lil Peep Part 1, Live Forever, and Vertigo, all while attending community college full time. Peep moved back out to California after that semester. After connecting with Craig Zen over Instagram, he was invited to join Schema Posse. He bounced around from house to house in California, performing with Schema Posse, and still didn't have a lot going for him. He was establishing a fan base at the time, but wasn't huge and didn't have a ton of money. Some of his songs like Star Shopping and Beamer Boy had been some of his biggest tracks at the time. Schema Posse eventually broke up, and Peep began associating himself with Goth Boy Clique. Some of the members of Goth Boy Clique would be featured on his next project. Not even an entire year after his first mixtape, Peep released the mixtape Crybaby. Crybaby was recorded over the duration of 3 days and was almost entirely mixed by Peep. It was an extremely solid project and it had a lot of good songs on it. It had classic tracks like Lil Jeep and White Tee with Lil Tracy. But there was one specific song on the project that would have a huge impact on Lil Peep's career. The song 19 is ultimately what led to Lil Peep's big break. It was released as a single right around the time Schema Posse broke up. This is one of the first songs that Peep and his close friend and producer Smoke-A-Sack had worked on. Smoke-A-Sack recalls that he and Peep first met at a show where Peep performed the song to a crowd of 5 people. We spent a few hours after the show talking, and he was so excited about the song that he said that it would be one of his first songs to break 1 million streams and take him to the next level, and he was completely right about it.
I don't wanna lose you, I don't wanna hate you, I don't wanna do you like that.
In June, after Crybaby's release, a radio DJ named Travis Mills heard the song and really enjoyed it. He showed 19 to Sarah Stennett, an artist manager from First Access Entertainment, and she also loved it. She reached out to Peep and even flew out to LA just to meet with him in person. Later that same month, Peep would partner with First Access, opening a ton of new doors for him in his music career. The song 19 was almost directly responsible for Peep getting a record deal. His record deal was the boost that he needed to help push him into the mainstream. It gave him the money he needed to improve his music and allowed him to invest more in his career. Of course, I'm sure Peep would have made it without the record deal. It helped him rise much faster. Shortly after his deal, he released his fan favorite mixtape, Hellboy. This mixtape was very crucial in helping Peep get a lot more attention and get closer to breaking out of the underground. He would go on to do interviews, music videos, and more to help him further his career. Throughout 2017, he was getting a ton of attention, especially after releasing his debut album, Come Over When You're Sober Part 1. It was a small album packed full of hits that would continue to boost him into the mainstream eyes. He was rising rapidly until his untimely passing just a month later. Although the song 19 got Peep the record deal he needed to blow up, it came with just as many negatives as it did positives. One of the biggest issues that came out of Peep's crazy success was his friction with Lil Tracy and Goth Boy Clique. Tracy in particular felt like Lil Peep's popularity was eclipsing him and that he was in Peep's shadow, which is why they ended up going their separate ways.
When they would do write-ups
on us. They would never mention me. His manager was just kind of a dick. I just felt like I was just kind of being mistreated.
It really seemed like Tracy was the one who was perpetuating the divide, and it's sad that they never made up before Peep's passing. All of the attention was bittersweet for Peep. With his social anxiety and all the attention he was receiving, it's pretty obvious that his explosion in popularity was pretty difficult for him. It was probably really hard to deal with all the commentary on his music, especially the hate. I'm sure it isn't easy having all those eyes on you, commenting on every little thing you do. However, possibly the biggest negative of his record deal was his management. It's pretty well known that Peep and his management didn't always get along. As many fans know, Peep's mom has been in the process of suing Peep's management because of how they handled his tour and his drug use, stating that they even encouraged his drug use. A lot of fans think that his management is directly responsible for his death. Peep's management was allegedly supplying him with drugs to keep him doped up and under their control. They also had Peep touring for almost 2 months, which is what most people think caused his death. Peep was sick of touring and was allegedly just given more drugs to cope with the rest of the tour, which we all know is what led to his passing.
Now you're actually out on the road, keeping yourself busy touring, making music. Is it still a struggle for you to stay centered and stay, you know, in that situation?
Definitely, man. If anything, things have gotten worse, probably.
Because of the traveling and the touring and the pressure?
Yeah. Things just get worse. The anxiety just gets worse and worse.
If his label really was encouraging his drug use and pushing him so much more than he can handle, maybe it would have been better if DJ Travis Mills never showed Sarah Stennett the song 19. If you guys like this video, you might like the video where I covered all of X's lost songs. It's super.
Yeah, I was going to do a reaction on that. I want to say something about artists dying or rappers at the time dying. Because Lil Peep, he's a rapper. He wasn't able to get to artist status. And it sucks. I feel like even if you're the most fucked up rapper, I feel like at some point you become better. You get better as time goes on. Like, listen to Mac Miller. When he first started, his music was ass. A lot of people liked it. I liked it. But I could say a lot of people did not rock with Kids. You know what I'm saying? Like a Childish Gambino, the cul-de-sac. People didn't fuck with that. But now look at him. He has a shit ton of albums out. And mixtapes out. And a lot of platinum hits. I feel like it just takes time, you know? But Lil Peep, he did. And he is one of a very popular rapper of our generation that died too young. Same with X, you know. Hey, I just hope y'all out there, y'all do drugs or drink, do it responsibly, man. You're losing too many people to gun violence and substance abuse. And fuck his management. I really do feel like they killed Lil Peep. You know what I'm saying? They encouraged him. That's fucked up. You know? Peace.
Mario the poet.